guys, I'm Samantha and I am here to go over my worst books for the year along with the books I have DNF'd for the year. Now I only have, it looks like, 2 books that are 2 stars or below, so this will probably be a short and sweet kind of video, but what can you do? So for the 2 stars and below, books I didn't enjoy were The Haunting Hour by R.L. Stine. I don't know why I keep trying to read R.L. Stine. I tend not to really enjoy his works too much because of how dated they can be. Books I didn't enjoy were The Haunting Hour by R.L. Stine. I don't know why I keep trying to read R.L. Stine. I tend not to really enjoy his works too much because of how dated they can be. This was supposed to be a quick read around I think I read it for my horror or thriller vlog, genre reads vlog, and I just didn't vibe with it. It was just really dated. I've rolled my eyes a lot with it, so it's definitely one I suggest avoiding if at all possible. And the next book and the last book on this particular list is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I had read this as a pick for October for the Recreate Book Club I was a co-host for, and after discussing it with Ashley, I did enjoy it a little bit more, so it may have bumped it up to maybe a 2.5, but other than that, I still wasn't the biggest fan of it, so nothing about it really stuck with me all that much, and the back and forth into different timelines actually kind of threw me off a little bit, and sometimes I didn't even know what timeline we were in, and it just kind of confused me, so I didn't really enjoy it that much. It may have been different for me if I read it physically, but I did listen to it audibly, and I didn't really enjoy it, so that could be the reason why I didn't really enjoy it, but yeah, it was not my favorite. And for my list of DNFs, this is a slightly longer list than the 2-star. And yeah, this was a very interesting time of year. I'm getting more comfortable with the thought of DNFing books, because I used to be one that hated to DNF books, and I would read books until I was in a slump. And I think when I was in high school with having that thought, even though I was reading a lot in high school for a high schooler, I wasn't reading at the amount and the speed as I was now. So I definitely, after letting go certain books, I feel like it might have saved my reading, honestly. If only I probably could have been better about DNFing a lot of other books too, to kind of just help along with keeping myself out of a slump sometimes. But that being said, with my DNF books, I have DNF'd Death in a Distant Land by Nancy Livingston. With these books, I'm not going to go into details of them because I honestly really don't know a whole lot about these, and I maybe gave them at least a 50-page minimum try and could not get into them. With this, I gave it the minimum 50 pages. The language is really dated, and I thought it was going to be a good book to read because it's just a short and sweet kind of mystery, crime story, but I just could not get into it. Book 2 is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I think I'm just not in a headspace for classics, so the language in this I could not understand it, and nothing stuck in my head, so I had to give it up. Next book is The Yoga Life, Applying Comprehensive Yoga Therapy to All Areas of Your Life by Robert Butura. I can see this being decent, a decent resource to have, but after a while the language was kind of dry and just kind of sounded really repetitive, so I had to put this down. And this was a NetGalley arc that I was given for review, and I just didn't really vibe with it. Next is the infamous A Little Life by Hanya Yaragahara. This was on my TBR, like on and off for the last few months for tarot TBR, and I gave it a shot in October. Gave it, I think, 50 pages, maybe a little bit more, and just could not get into it. It was just monotonous, and usually I like the kind of like day-to-day slice of life type of style of writing, but there was something about this book that I could not get into, and I was preparing myself for the heartbreak that everybody feels with this book, but I just could not get into it. I found it like really dry and just boring, so I DNF'd it. And then the last book was my most recent DNF, was Balcony of Fog by Rich Shapiro. I gave this, I think, 61 pages because this was something that I actually just DNF'd recently. And I was given this book as part of a giveaway. For entering a giveaway, I was given this book. I actually have 2 copies of this book, and I will be unhauling both of them. It had a really abrupt insta-love in the very first chapter, pretty much, and after that, I just could not take it seriously. It's a dystopian novel, which the concept itself sounds pretty good, but the way that the author went about it with the insta-love first did not sit well with me, and the description of the female character really kind of made my skin crawl a little bit, so I had to give it up. But yeah, those were my worst books for the year, along with being DNF'd. I still do tend to rate DNFs just the amount that I had read, so that like they definitely at least got 1 star, 1 to 2 stars. But yeah, these were my worst books for the year. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what your worst books for the year were, and leave me a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to keep up to date with any other videos I have coming out in the future. And until next time, guys, bye.